Alright, it's time for the annual holiday Q&A, and to celebrate my new home, I'm doing this on Boxing Day, which is a much bigger deal in the UK than much of the rest of the world. Thank you guys so much for watching this year, and there's still a couple more videos this year before January 1st, so I hope you will come along for that. But of course, before we get into the new year, it is tradition for me to answer your questions. So let's start with Netherbat, who says, what is your least favorite tube station and how would you fix it? And in a similar vein, Mediocre Logarithm asks, what is your 272nd favorite tube station? Now, full disclosure, I've not yet been to all 272. I'm getting there, but it does take quite a while, and there are just so many stations. Like, it took me a while to go to every BART station, so never mind the tube with 5 times more stations. But yeah, I think Camden Town is pretty low-hanging fruit. I think it's just generally a pretty disliked station, and I have used it, and I definitely felt the pain. South Kensington is where I regularly commute to, and that station gets very crowded in the evening rush hour. So maybe that's just a bit of a personal bias in there for me disliking it. But I think if I had to choose on the spot, I'd probably choose one of the Central Line stations, like west of Bond Street. Some of them are just really poorly lit, like Lancaster Gate and Queensway, I think, is also not the brightest, let's say. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have a least favorite tube station. Like, there isn't a station that I particularly try to avoid using. But yeah, I've given you a few names. The Hungry Transit fan asks, what is your favorite transit line? Okay, single line. That's going to be tricky. So I'll try and give a more comprehensive answer to sort of compensate for not doing that on the first question. I'll split it up into 2 parts. I'll do one that I have ridden and one that I haven't. So for one that I have ridden, I think CTA Red Line is a very honorable mention. I just love that thing. It's so long but also quick, and has a mix of underground and above ground, which I always like in metro lines. Of course, it runs 24 hours, which is a big plus. But I think my pick will be another red metro line, and that's Barcelona Metro Line 1. I mean, I made an entire video about it, so I do have to like it. I talk about it more in that video, but yeah, I think that would be my pick, my favorite individual transit line for something that I have ridden. For something that I have not, I think I'll go with the Tung Chung line in Hong Kong. Yeah, bit of an interesting shout there, but I do like the MTR. Who doesn't? And they also asked what's my favorite sandwich. Very short and simple answer, the salmon rye from Pret. Next up, It's Tact asks what's on my bucket list. Okay, now a lot of it is travel and train based because, you know. But I think to give a very concrete example, there are some flights that allow you to sort of bring in a day twice. Like, they leave somewhere in Asia just after midnight, then they arrive on the west coast of North America in the evening on the previous day. So if you take a flight like that on New Year's Eve, you get to celebrate New Year's twice. I believe the YouTuber Patrick Shea did that. I'll put a link to that video on screen if you want to see what that's like. And I know for a fact that there's an ANA flight from Tokyo Haneda to LAX that allows you to do this, that does leave after midnight. I forget what flight Patrick did exactly, but yeah. Definitely want to try one of those on New Year's or even my birthday. Plain and Aquarium Geek asks, are you autistic? Like, the videos, like, come on, the videos speak for themselves. Yeah, obviously. And what are my thoughts on Caltrain Broadway? I'll admit I never used that station. All I'm gonna say is just get that grade separation done by whatever means necessary. You know, if that's the only thing that's holding back Caltrain from running the Kisses at faster than 79 miles an hour, or for normal people 130 kilometers an hour, I'm like, just get it done. Because those trains can go much quicker. And maybe that will hopefully allow as well for sort of off-peak express trains, which Caltrain do want to bring back in the long term. So yeah, get it done. That's all I'm going to say. Mary asks, so why is it that transit YouTube often avoids historical transit, especially trolley systems? I This is a very interesting question that might actually make for an entire video in itself. So what I'm showing on screen now is a railway that's very close to me personally. It is the Hejaz Railway. That's located in modern-day Jordan, Palestine, and parts of Saudi Arabia and Syria. My ancestors worked on that railway, and this past summer I had the chance to visit the preserved locomotives and exhibits that are currently located in Amman, the capital of Jordan. So it was really, really special for me to see that, and I never actually got around to putting together a video for it. Maybe I will at some point next year. And yeah, I think it's just a combination of maybe not having that much footage available and, creators being concerned that it might not do as well on the algorithm. Like, I don't know. It's a very interesting question though. Like, I do try to talk about the historical context of some things whenever I make a video in a new city that I've not been to yet. For example, when I talked about, this is pretty low-hanging fruit, but when I talked about Lisbon's trams, I talked a lot about, how they came to be. And, it's obvious there because they still run the trams that are like 100 years old at this point, literally 100 years old. But I do want to shout out the Redline podcast, friends of the channel. They do actually go in depth about historical streetcar systems every single time they introduce a new city, even though the story is kind of the same every time in terms of how they came to be and also how they died. But yeah, I think it's just very difficult to know exactly what you're saying when there's not much information easily accessible online. And I think that is where sort of local expertise comes in, actually going to the places and maybe visiting a museum. I think that can be very enriching, and I do try to do as much research as I can, but ultimately that is something that I do also worry that I will fall short on in terms of not getting all the facts right. See, it's a very difficult question. I think I could make a whole video. Why don't we talk about historical transit? Caleb, if you're watching, you might want to look into that. Alan64 asks, what is my favorite flavor of ice cream? Probably mango. Doing a shout out to the Amarino near Union Square. That would always be something I would do to get a quick fix. Like if I really wanted ice cream and I was willing to splurge and go for a ride a little bit, I would always, take part to Montgomery, walk over there and get a mango and chocolate. It is a bit expensive compared to what I had back in Berkeley, but it was always worth it. And Millie asks, have you actually used Colma Station? Yes, I have. For those of you who aren't aware, Colma is a BART station that is probably the biggest meme I've ever created on the channel. Well, I didn't intend for it to become a meme, but enough people were joking about it that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play along and make Colma references in almost any video where the station actually pops up. But I did actually go there to film a year before the Automad for the Secrets video. And very quick tangent, yes, I did call it Secrets of the BART when it came out. That was a very big blunder on my part. I didn't realize at the time that, the BART is just, at best, not a thing people say, and at worst, a little bit mean. I don't know, but a lot of people took it very personally that I said that. The intention was to make it in the style of Jeff Marshall's Secrets of the Underground video. I guess if I wanted to do that, I could have said Secrets of the BART System. But yeah, I don't know. I changed the title to BART Secrets. It is still one of my more viewed videos. But Jeff did leave a comment on it, so I guess mission accomplished. But yeah, aside from filming, actually using the station like a normal person would, I have had one instance where I used Colma. I was visiting Lake Merced and I wanted to get BART back, though I was hoping to get the 120 or 122, whatever Soundtrans bus it was, to Daly City. But the one in that direction wasn't showing up for a while, so I ended up getting the one that was going the other direction. And that bus obviously hit Colma BART station, so that is where I did use Colma as an ordinary person without the intention of filming or making jokes about Colma. And finally, Mediocre Logarithm again asks, what is the longest TFL or tube journey that I've made? In terms of time or distance, Either way, I don't know for sure. I know the longest underground journey that you can do is Central Line from West Ruislip to Epping. I've not done that whole thing. I think it would probably be when I rode the entire Lioness line from Watford Junction to Euston. That takes like 50 minutes. But that's like just one single train. The longest journey with multiple trains I've done, like only TfL trains, probably would be longer than an hour. But I can't recall exactly what it was. I do want to try the Heathrow to Upminster without Zone 1 thing. Now, this is a sort of challenge that Jeff did way back when. And he proved that it was possible to go from Heathrow to Upminster, only paying £1.50 without entering Zone 1. And, you know, maybe it would be fun to revisit that, you know, do it in 2026, see how much it costs now. But that video does have a special place in my heart because I think it was the first Jeff Marshall video I saw that like really hooked me onto the sort of complexity of London. Like I'd seen the Secrets videos by that point, I'm pretty sure. And I'm like, okay, cool, everyone loves the tube. But like seeing that video of his trip from not Heathrow to not Upminster, but Heathrow to Upminster, I think that was where I started to appreciate just how complex everything is. So yeah, maybe it would be fun for me to actually attempt to do that in 2026 and compare the price, because yeah, I think TfL is getting a fair hike in a couple months. But yeah, that is the end of the Q&A. Thank you so much for watching again. Happy holidays, happy new year. Well, not yet. Again, there's still a couple more videos this year. I will keep hammering that in. The year is not over, but yeah, I guess in spirit it is. Approaching 4,000, hopefully 10k next year if all goes well.